Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Canon EOS-1D for RandallMRueff. Today is Tuesday, April the 19th, 2016 AD. It's 5:02 in the PM, or 1700 hours and 2 minutes, and 40 seconds for you military types. In this video, as a Canon EOS-1D, we're talking about the new Canon EOS-1D Mark II, which I do not have. But now that I have an instruction manual, I can talk to you about the nomenclature. That's right, the names of the items. Name, nomenclature. I think it's pretty, I'm not sure. Either way, the name or nomenclature, as you can see here on the right side of the Canon EOS-1D Mark II, which will be coming out the 1st of next month, which is like 10, 15, 14, something less than half a month away, give or take. Which I wish I had the money to afford, or somebody would send me the money or make available this camera to me permanently, but that's another story. In this video, we're going to talk about nomenclature. Let's start at the top. This little dot right here, lens mount index. This is where you line up your lens to screw it on, or to put the lens on. Also, this is where you line up the cap. If you don't have a lens on it, you put on your cap to keep the dust out. That's where you line that up too. Depth of field preview button. Right there. Multifunction button. This is programmable. You can program the button to do a whole bunch of different stuff. It's really just whatever you want to set up for. The self-timer lamp, which is, it goes, well, it doesn't makes noise, it just kind of flashes to let you know how, you're about to you're about to take a picture on the timer, and it speeds up when it gets closer to the time to actually take it. Of course, this whole area right here is the grip. And this is something new that I think for the Mark II. I could be wrong about this. But the vertical grip on-off switch. So if you want to turn these controls off, you can do that. If you want to leave them on, that's cool too. I'm not sure that was in the last model, but I've got one now. Let's see, vertical grip, autofocus, area selection, button right there. Vertical grip main dial right here, so you can make adjustments. Let's see, vertical grip shutter button, of course, right here. Hand strap mount was here. Excuse me. Oh gosh. So if you want to put a hand strap here, run it all the way up to the thing up here, you can do that. Some people like it, some people don't. It's just personal preference whether you want to use it or not. I may try one out. I may try to get one for my camera. I can run it. I've got the ability to do that. I just don't have an actual strap to do it with. So I may, on my camera, the EOS Digital XT, I may think about, or have been thinking about, it's just better getting some money to get it. A hand strap might be. I don't like the neck strap so much anymore. It's just, but a hand strap might be the way to go. I'll have to try it and see. Again, it's just about getting some money. Accessory position hole. Accessory position hole. Oh, okay. That's definitely new. So vertical grip with multifunction button 2, of course, is right there. Depth of field, serial. Ooh, there's a serial number to the camera right there on the bottom. Contacts. This is where your lens contacts the camera to help do the electronic focus, the or EF, the data from the camera to and from the lens, etc., etc. Of course, down here you got a tripod socket. The lens mount is this entire ring here. Okay. The lens release button is right there, so if you want to release or change the lenses, push down, twist. Let's see, lens lock pin, that's inside the lens mount. You've got a movie shooting microphone, so when you do your videos, whether it be 4K or 1080p or whatever, you've got a microphone right here. And of course, you got your mirror inside your shutter mechanism. So that's the nomenclature for that. I'll go to. That's a whole bunch here. Okay. Yeah, let's go. This video might turn out to be longer than I thought, which is kind of cool. Okay, white balance selection button. Boom, right there. LCD panel illumination. Which one is illuminated? So if you want this to be illuminated, and this to be illuminated, and this to be illuminated, get your button. If you want to turn them off, turn it off. Hot shoe for your flash or whatever else you want to put up here. Flash sync contacts right here where your flash, actually, if you're using a flash, the metal parts line up. The eye cup, protect your eye, so you can use your viewfinder. Of course, you have an LCD monitor to review your photos and video. Or if you want to, you can use live mode and record using that if you want to. Quick control button right here. Let's see, where's touchpad? Oh, the touchpad, they're calling this the touchpad. The scrolling wheel, I always call it scroll wheel, but okay. Speakers right here, so you can, if you want to listen to your video or your annotations from your making it. Not a lot of people, I don't think, usually use that annotations button. You know, it's like you take a picture and you can add your little 5 seconds of voice saying, at the Grand Canyon, mountains. And then you can record, you know, so that's just an example. Something you could maybe record with, and then it adds it to the picture. I don't think a lot of people use that, but obviously enough people do use it that they're still including it as part of the camera. Vertical grip, autofocus start, vertical grip, autofocus points. Now down here at the bottom we have a remote control terminal, an M3 type. So that's kind of cool. You can put in your remote control if you got a corded one with a cord. Vertical grip multi-controller. Control your multi. Settings, quick control, multi-control, we talked about that. Strap mount, main dial, speed setting button. You got ISO, a dedicated ISO button. So if you want to change your ISO real quick, you can do that. Autofocus area selection button, spot metering, exposure compensation, and a whole bunch of little buttons right in here. Okay. So let's go over to the next page. Flash exposure button, compensation, metering modes, shooting mode, autofocus drive mode button. If you want to put it on a wireless land mount, you can do so right here. And then got a little part of it's a little hole right there that's called extension, system extension mounting tube, which basically fits in here, and plus it's got a little bracket that fits into that hole right there. Terminal covers are these covers that cover up the terminals, obviously. Let's see what else. System extension terminal. So you can add things, and you'll notice right here's what that cover is. Well, actually, the hole's not shown. Hole will be like right there. They got headphones in, headphone and microphone in. That's cool. PC terminal, so you can plug it into your plug it in. Digital terminal, so you can do your USB 3. I think 3.0 is what they're running now. HDMI out, so you can run it to a HD TV. Ethernet, of course. You got a diopic adjustment for those people like me that have glasses. You can adjust it. Of course, if you come over here, that's It looks like it's underneath the eye cup, so that's cool. Viewfinder, yeah, viewfinder, eyepiece, shutter, autofocus points, auto exposure lock, autofocus on and off start, live view shooting movie modes, right here. Push your top LCD panel, which shows you a whole bunch of information. Next page, let's see what we got here. Okay. This is the page for one. Okay. Info button, menu button, strap mount. Let's see. Land light, it tells you when you're on a land. Battery release for the battery itself. Playback button, so you can see what you've taken, pictures, videos you've taken. Card image size selection button. So, if you want to shoot RAWs or JPEGs or both, or small JPEGs or big JPEGs or medium JPEGs or large RAW or small, you can set all your stuff there. Index and magnify buttons right there. That looks like a little magnifying glass. This is your rear LCD display. Got an erase button, which is right here with the trash can on it. And of course, you've got your protect voice memo button. If you want to protect the picture so you don't accidentally delete it. Or you want to add a voice annotation, which I don't know how many people use that, but again, somebody surely does, I'm sure. I can't drink water here. Voice memo microphone is right there. So it's right next to the button. You push the button to talk, the microphone's right there, which is kind of neat. Power multifunction lock switch is right here. Card slot release, so you can open up your card door here. Access lamp lets you know the card readers are doing something that's active. CFast card 2 eject button looks like number 2. The number, yeah, card 1 is a compact flash card. I wish they would have just made these two CFs or 2 compact flash cards. I mean, the fact that there are 2 different kinds drives me nuts. That's the only thing I really don't like about this camera. Get some more water. Card slot cover. This is a little, it's not mentioned, but this is kind of a little bit of a heat sink right here. That's not mentioned, but I have, they say this part right here can get warm. That's kind of where they kind of pump the heat out to. At least that's my understanding. You got a CFast 2 card slot and a compact flash card slot, excuse me. And of course down here is your battery compartment cap. So if you don't have a battery right here, you can put this cap on to protect it. And basically it just keeps the dirt and dust out. Basically keeps it let me say again, keeps the dust and dirt out when you don't have a battery in there. So that's it's good to have, right? Most people throw these away or just put them in their bag somewhere. I'd put it in my bag and probably never use it after it's, But everyone, you might need it, so don't throw it away, obviously, but put it in your camera bag and keep it somewhere where you can use it if you need it, but you probably won't need it that much. Unless you've only got one battery and you have to wait between times to recharge it, which most people don't. Most people I know have more than one battery for their camera. I don't remember I have more than one battery. Anyway, moving on. Nomenclature for the viewfinder information. You got your electronic level, spot metering circle right here. Your grid lines are these things right here. Boom, 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 up and down. Your metering mode, your shooting mode, your white balance, which is all these are sellable. Of course, you can depending on which mode you go in, you can adjust them and set them and change them. And you got your drive mode, whether it's a single shot, multiple burst, timer, how long the timer's on, things like that. Autofocus operation. You want to shoot one shot at a time, or you want AI servo, or what you want to do, blah blah blah. Warning icons if something goes wrong or something's not done right. Large zone autofocus frame. These 3 separate frames right here. Area autofocus. Autofocus point, spot AF point. You can see the difference there. Exposure level indicator right here. It's just, you know, this goes back to the old days when all we had was a little light meter and the dial would go up or down. So that goes back to those days. I remember having to use a camera in high school where we had a little. It wasn't like this. It was like it had the numbers, and then you had a little dial, or not dial, a little sticky thing that went out, can poke out to about right here, and it would go up or down depending on the light setting. Of course, now it's done electronically. Max burst. Depending on whether you're shooting JPEG or RAW, they say if you shoot JPEG, it should be unlimited until your card fills up. But if you're shooting RAW, maybe you'll want to know how many left you can do. Maybe. So that's exactly what. Let's see. JPEG icon tells you whether you're shooting JPEG RAW. Your battery level, which tells you how much battery power, approximately how much battery power you have. I wish they would put this battery power. I wish they would put it in percentage. You see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 inside the battery. You got 4 chambers, which basically tells you 25, 50, 75, or 100. Well, obviously, if you've used it for 20 minutes, as I say, and you're still on, it looks like it's not 100%. Obviously, you're not 100%. So I wish they would put a battery and put like inside the battery, put like 92% or 15%. Put a number and a percentage sign inside the battery, so that way you know approximately, a lot better at least, what the percentage of the battery is that's available still. Autofocus status indicator. I'll drink some more water here. Talking a lot in this video. Exposure levels. 1 stop is the big thing. 1/3 stop is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, standard. Overexposed, underexposed, what you're supposed to be. It's just common sense. Any photographer knows anything about anything. Wow, that's the last page. Yes, there's a lot. Again, there's a lot in this one. Okay. So we've talked about a lot about this. Let's see what else we got. We got manual focus, AE lock, flash ready. Flash is ready. This one right here. It's so. Let's see if I can zoom that in. Yeah, I can. Haha. So you got flash ready. What's the next one? Flash lock. High speed sync. Autofocus point selection. With your card warning. Interesting. Didn't know it did that. You got aperture. Basically, it's exposure level, possible shots, ISO, autofocus, your autofocus status indicator. Those come in pretty much every camera I've seen for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Basically tells you when it's in focus, when it's not. So aperture, shutter speed. This can tell you a whole bunch of things. So depending on how you have your camera set. Shutter speed, bulb, lock, busy, multifunction, no card warning, etc., etc. So you just have to know what these. There's what 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 4. Oops. There's 1, 2. Okay, there's 4 digits, which is why you have things like BULB, FEUB, BUSY, L, CAR, ERR. So you have something happens or something's, or if it's set a certain way, you know what's going on. Your top LCD panel on the next page. Of course, you got your shutter speed, and your bulb settings, and your lock, and your busy, and your multifunction, and your cleaning image. Where's the cleaning image sensor? Which one's the cleaning image sensor? I think it's this one. Hold on. Where's the cleaning is? Oh, that's what the letters are. Okay, never mind. I'm losing it. Cleaning image sensor, CLN. So if it says CLN, it's cleaning. Duh. You've got your different programs: aperture priority, manual exposure, shutter priority. You got 3 custom shooting modes, which is cool. And basically, how I would do this would just be probably 2 would be, or 1 would be 1,000, a shutter speed of 1,000. 2 would be a shutter speed of 2,000. And then 3 would probably be with the flash attached. Because that'd be an easy way to remember it, because that way you can set it so you set your shutter speeds to, for example, C1, I could set this a shutter speed of 1,000, and then it would adjust the aperture and the ISO automatically. Same thing with C2, except it would be 1/2000th shutter speed, and it would adjust the ISO and the aperture. And then 3, I don't know if I do a 3, but it's not sure it's there. I'd come up with something, I'm sure. If the mirror is locked up, you can see that with a little illustration with white balance correction, plus or minus, auto lighting optimizer on. I think that's the equivalent of making sure your flash is on all the time, or it fires all the time. You can turn it on or off. I think is what that is. I wouldn't swear to it. Of course, you got your metering modes, your partial metering, your spot metering, your center weighted. Depending on these little symbols right here, each symbol, for example, if it's evaluative metering, you've got this little symbol here. If it's partial metering, it looks like this, spot metering, etc., etc. You got your different autofocus modes, whether it's one shot or AI servo or whatever. So you got that there. Possible shots, self-timer countdown, etc., etc. Autofocus point selection. Stuff like that can go there. Aperture, AB increment, dust, delete, data acquisition, such and such. Which is basically, I'm not sure what dust, delete, data acquisition is. I just know normally it's aperture. It's the aperture. So that's all I worry about. Okay, let's look at the top panel. Nomenclature. You got your ISO basically right here, which goes up to 52,100 natively. Highlight tone priority. You got your auto balance, your auto white balance, daylight, shade, cloudy, tungsten, white light, fluorescent, flash, custom color preview, blah, blah, blah. All those right here. Black and white monochrome shooting. Now, I normally don't do black and white monochrome shooting. My camera that I have now doesn't even do it. And it's not a big deal because in Photoshop you can take any picture and make it black and white. It's real easy. It's not that hard. In fact, you can even do it in Preview, which is Apple's little program, and it's free. So you can do most any serious photo illustration program or photo adjustment or viewing program will probably have that feature. It's a very simple feature. And of course, Photoshop has it, so and I'm sure Lightroom does too. So it's no big deal to take your color picture and convert it to black and white. But if you want to shoot nothing but black and white, if you the only real reason I can see is if you were 100% sure that nobody wanted color pictures. If you knew that the person, let's say you had an assignment to shoot pictures, and you were 100% sure that they didn't want any color, they wanted everything black and white, then I can see, doing that. But personally, I'd rather have the color to be able to transform to black and white. They might be a little bit, file sizes might be a little bit smaller because it's not recording color. So that might be a little bit of a benefit, but not a whole lot. I mean, personally, I would rather just record them in color and then transfer them to black. If I want to transfer something to black and white, it's not that big of a deal. So, but the option is there if you want to do it, which is cool. You got your ISO speed, your color temperature. So depending on how you, what you're doing, you can see you get a whole bunch of information. You got your different drive modes here, which is your single shooting, your high speed, continuous, your low speed, your silent high speed. You got a 2-second timer, a timer with 2 seconds, or a timer with 10 seconds, which I'd rather have a timer where you can set it for 15 seconds or 30 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever. Sometimes 10 seconds isn't enough, but I guess you do what they can give you. Canon, if you're out there, I'd rather have a timer where you can set the amount of time, but that'd be fine. Or do like they do in the Spider-Man movie where he sets it to go off every 10 seconds or something. That'd be cool. Of course, you got multiple exposure shooting, which, again, most people don't do nowadays because it's too easy to. Anything you can do with a multiple exposure shooting you can do in camera. It's so much easier just to import it into Photoshop or Lightroom. I use Photoshop. I love Photoshop. And it's too easy just to import stuff through Photoshop, and the effects of multiple exposure you can easily do with Photoshop and give it that look. Some people want to do it. That's fine. It's a neat thing to play with and have. And some people are really good at it and can do some really neat things. But for me, I'd rather be able to do some neat things in the computer than I would in the camera, because it's just to me it makes more sense. There's a lot more adjustments you can do in computer than you can in camera, to say the least. To be able to do it in computer, there's so many more options than doing it in camera. And plus, when it's in camera, it's in camera. You can't make adjustments. You can't as far as redoing it or resetting it, or it just, to me, it's better. If you want to do a multiple exposure effect, take one picture, take two pictures, take however many pictures you want, and you can combine them in Photoshop. No big deal. So that's how I would do it. Autofocusing, bracketing. If you wanted to use that, exposure level indicator. Tells you how far off subsidiary you are, plus or minus. So that's good. Next page, which is the underneath the rear LCD panel, which is below where you look at your pictures. Okay, so you got your CFast card. Number 2, you have your compact flash card. Yeah, I'm not going to get into why I wish they would just put 2 of the same, but that's another issue. Of course, we got your image sizes. You got your large, medium. For JPEG, you got your RAW. So you can shoot small, medium, large RAW, plus small, medium, large. There's 2 mediums, actually. And a large JPEG. I always shoot large JPEG. The camera I've got now does RAW, but the reason I don't like RAW, let me tell you the reasons I don't like RAW. One, the file size is a lot larger, because you're recording the entire image. There's no compression. And two, it's not the universal format. JPEG is a universal format. I mean, 99.9999999% of any computer program that has anything to do with any kind of illustrations or graphics will import and use JPEGs. RAW, on the other hand, not so much. I mean, there's a lot of programs that use RAW, don't get me wrong. But JPEG is the universal standard format. So JPEG is what I use. And to me, yeah, RAWs are better as far as quality, but when you compare them side by side, a RAW and a JPEG, that to really see a difference, you really got to blow them up big time. And so for everyday use, it's not going to really matter. It's just, if you're going to print out a big poster or something like that, yeah, maybe I can see some advantages to JPEG, or not JPEG, to RAW over JPEG. But for the most part, JPEG is going to do it just fine. You can blow JPEG up pretty big too and still get a really good result, even at 8 megapixels. So the fact that you're doing 20 point something, or if you have different cameras. I mean, Canon makes different cameras, so does Nikon, and Sony, and all these different cameras have, 20, 25, 36, and now 50 megapixels. Hasselblad has, I think, one that does 100 and something. So my EOS Durable XT with 8 megapixels does pretty good. So, I mean, I can only imagine having something that does 20 megapixels or more would be awesome in JPEG or RAW. So, okay, let's go on this side. You got the CFast, we talked about that. GPS acquisition status. So if your GPS signal's coming in good and strong, that's good. You got GPS logging if you want to use that. Your wired LAN connection tells you if you're connected good, I guess. Data transfer icons. If you're transferring data, that should be lit. A wireless connection. Get your file number and your folder number. So let's see what else. Of course, on this page you've got your battery. You've got your battery release handle, your locking lever that holds the battery in place, your contacts to your battery to your camera, and then a protective cover for the battery itself. You've got the battery charger with the contacts up here, the battery slots for 2 batteries, protective covers. You got 2 of them. It says power cord. You plug it here to where we're gonna plug it in. You can't see the other end of the cord, but anyway, you've got your calibrate performance button. Plus, you've got tells you how far they are on the charge, whether it's 50%, 80%, or 100%. So you can use that. Then, of course, attach it. I don't want to worry about that. So there you have it. The battery charger nomenclature, the battery pack nomenclature. Nomenclature for the rear LCD panel, the top LCD panel, the viewfinder information nomenclature, as well as the nomenclature for the camera, the Canon EOS-1D Mark II itself. I realize this video has been rather lengthy, but there's a lot of information to cover, and I don't know if you remember everything, but hopefully you'll remember as much as possible. And if you don't remember everything, of course, you can always come back and watch this video, or get the manual or PDF yourself and look it up. But there it is, the nomenclature for the Canon EOS-1D Mark II. So until next time, I'm Canon EOS-1D for RandallMRueff saying thanks for watching, have a good day, and may God bless you. As always, keep taking those pictures.